Okay, so there is another Unofficial Retropie build, and I'll tell you what it's by in a minute. It's excellent as well. It's got so much stuff on it, and there's always new stuff to find on these. If we go into the desktop, so you can see with all of these builds, they tend to come with a proper desktop environment. If I go into terminal, I've got to wait for it to start up. There you go here, and just double click on that. You'll see that it's made by the Supreme team and MonkaBlyat, and they've done a sterling job. If I click on the top, just to, as I usually do, just to go through, ignore this one because I was doing a Stadia test, but I couldn't get it to work. Education. Games obviously is one of the more important bits on here, so you can see that's a DS emulator, arcade emulator, Minecraft Pi, PlayStation emulator, and so on. There's loads and loads of stuff on here. And if we go into internet browsers, Chromium and Firefox, Office. So as you can see, it's a fully fledged system. And interestingly on this one, and I won't mention the name of it, but there is it Amazon? I think Amazon Prime is supported, Netflix, YouTube. There are all sorts of apps on here. I won't do much on this, but if I go to add-ons, you can see, yeah, so look, Netflix, Amazon, Plex, YouTube, and also Spotify. So that's very impressive. Let's quit out of that. There we go, and we're back into this desktop operating system. But I want to go back into the Retropie interface. So what I'll do is open up a terminal and type in emulation station. And I'm using a wired Xbox 360 controller, which I always tend to use for these tests. I've overclocked to 2 GHz. You can overclock within it, but not as high as 2 GHz. But I've done 2 GHz because that's what I usually do because I'm using a fan for cooling. If I go into PC games, no, not PC games. Which one was I going to go? Ports, and then go down. The one I wanted to show was Quake 2. You can see there's other stuff on here as well, but I wanted to concentrate on Quake 2 because this works particularly well. I had to configure the fire button on this joypad, but apart from that it was fine. There we go, and this runs so well. So all of the joypad was configured so I can strafe left and right with the left stick, and I can move around, look up and down, as you can see, and I've configured the right trigger for fire. So you can see it's really smooth. Oh, oh, there's more of them. I want a shotgun, as my aim is so terrible. Oh, look at them all. Good job I picked easy, wasn't it? Took a while to let it explode. A bit too far away from it. But you can see, it works really well. I haven't really experimented too much with this, but it just is so smooth, so fast. So, let's quit out of that. And you get this rather lovely music. There's another one on here I wanted to try called Z Machine, which is that one. Which is Zork. Now this is a text-based adventure game, which I used to play I used to play The Hobbit on the Spectrum, and I used to play a few other not graphical adventures, text-based adventures. So it says here, west of house, you're standing in an open field west of a white house with a boarded front door. There is a small mailbox here. So if I say examine mailbox, the small mailbox is closed, so open mailbox, reveals a leaflet. So should we say read Leaflet. Zork is a game of adventure, danger and low cunning. In it you will explore some of the most amazing territory ever seen by mortals. No computer should be without one. Right, what do I do now? Look. Okay, so I don't know if you can do it by direction. So west of house. So if I go east, the door is boarded and you can't remove the boards. East again? No. West. Forest. This is a forest with trees in all directions. There you go. So you get the idea. I won't go through it because if you want to do it, you don't want me to spoil it by showing what it does. But that's just something a little different. So certainly very retro. What else have we got on my list that I wanted to cover? There's one thing I want to revisit. So I'm not going to go through that now, but it's to do with emulation. I was going to show the Pixel desktop. Yeah, I've done that. Okay, so I'm back in, and what I wanted to try was. Well, I've actually configured this, and this is SCUMM VM, which is point-and-click graphics adventures. Now, this didn't come pre-configured, so what I had to do was put the files, you can see it says Sword25 there. In fact, I can show you this, it's probably going to be the easiest way of doing it. So if I go back to the desktop, so now if I open up a browser, say Chromium, I like the desktop. It's a really nice looking desktop. And if I put in SCUMM VM, this is all I did yesterday, and it takes you to their website. And there are a load of downloads for the games on here. It's going to games. You'll see that there's a load of games there that you might remember from back in the day. So I went for Broken Sword because I do remember playing that. I can't remember what platform I was playing it on. Was it Amiga? It might have been Amiga that I played it on. All you have to do is click on the link and download the zip file that you'll find on there. So I downloaded the zip file for Broken Sword, and then I put that in the right folder. So if you go into Files and go to, and then you're looking for Pi and Retropie and ROMs, and then you see there's a folder for SCUMM VM there, and so this is the zip file that I downloaded. The zip file didn't work, I had to unzip it, so I just double clicked on it and unzipped it. So it's in this folder, so Home Pi, Retropie, ROM, SCUMM VM, and then it'll actually find it. So when you start up, it gives you an option of finding those actual files. And you'll get an interface that you can use with a mouse. So if I'm using the controller to control this at the moment, launch that. If you start SCUMM VM, it will come up with a way of adding programs into it. So once you put that folder in the right place, it will recognize where it is. Here we go. And you just go to Add Game on the right hand side here. There you go. And it would show up. So you can see I've already put it on mine. So if I hit start now, there you go, it loads up super quick. All this is running from the SD card, just a normal SD card. So let's go new game. Always remember this at the time, just having really cool graphics and a really good story to it. Nice.
It's been a long time since I've seen Nico. And then there's this telegram. Sender unknown. It says Nico's dead.
So it starts like a movie. I don't know if I can skip this. Oh yeah, I can.
Nico, thank God you're okay.
George,
I thought something had happened to you.
Why would you think that?
Did I get it wrong completely? This telegram here.
I don't know anything about it.
You don't know anything about it. Is that all you have to say? For God's sake, I was worried about you.
As you can see, I'm fine. Would you mind leaving now? I've got a lot of work to do.
Nico, what's wrong with you? I travel all the way from America to be close to you, to look after you, to have you near me, and now you're so dismissive.
Sorry, George. I'm busy right now.
I'd better go then.
Would be better.
Okay, so and if you're unfamiliar with point and click, basically you have to move the pointer around to give you various different things you can do. So sometimes you can examine things in the room. In this case, I can go down the stairs.
Yes, it's me, Nicole. George has just been in. The telegram arrived after all.
Strange.
Well, I would probably stick around and see if she says more, but let's go down.
I'm kind of expecting a mad clown to jumping around the corner and knocking me out with his accordion now. My fears are proved to be unfounded. Instead, I'm standing in the middle of Paris, confused. I have questions, so many questions. Does Nico have anything to do with this telegram? If yes, why would she do a thing like that? I think about it for some time, until I see her, sitting there patiently, selling flowers, just as though time had stopped. She helped me once. Why not a second time?
So here you can see window, flower stall, and you can click on things and then you get more of the story. I'm going to introduce this to my daughter because she had a go at there was a games event at the Science Museum in London, and she was on I think it was on a BBC B, and she was doing a text adventure and really got into it. And I think this, she would really enjoy the storyline of this, and there's a bit of mystery and a bit of intrigue in there, so it'll be perfect for her. Anyway, a great job.
As usual,
this is such a good system, and I look forward to the next one because every time I get it, I kind of read through the notes and have a look through and discover something different. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe.